Hi, welcome back. So today I'm going to talk to you about the fashion app. You've seen a couple of videos coming up on the channel recently about that. The shorts that I put up were just part of the documentation, so if you go to the GitHub repository, then you'll see why those shorts were uploaded. I thought I'd make them public just so that they were available. So apologies if, like me, you're not keen on shorts in your timeline on YouTube. I just thought it might be better if they were available. So today I'm just going to talk you through the app, what the app is, why the app exists, and there will be follow-up videos for the various parts of the app. This app came about, we've been looking at Azure OpenAI all year, and this is a relatively new sort of technology to most people, where large language models have been trained. They are much more human in their interactions with people, so they beat traditional chatbots hands down. It's much more natural talking to them. They're able to do much more things. They appear to know things. Importantly, they don't know things. They're just a statistical model. So when you say a word to it, it will statistically generate the next most likely thing to happen, and it will respond with that. So it doesn't actually know anything, and this is important because if you don't ground the model, if you don't provide it with information, then it will come back with spurious information. This is what we call hallucinations. They can be very realistic. We've had instances of law firms that have fed it all of the kind of legal documents, ask it a question, and it will come back and say, oh yeah, in this case, this happened, and there's this section that says this, and it's all very believable. It's in perfect legal language. And then you look it up, and not only does the section not exist, the case doesn't exist, the law doesn't exist, but it's been a very convincing actor or liar, depending on how you want to look at it. But that's how they're trained, that's what they're for. So don't be surprised that that's how they work. It's fine, though, as long as you ground the model in things that you intend for it to say, then that's all good. In the case of this app, all we're doing is asking it fashion advice, feeding it a top and asking what goes with that top. If I'm going to a party, what should I wear with this top? That's all very subjective, opinion-based stuff anyway, so actually we kind of want to lean into that. Well, the internet as a whole thinks that this skirt goes with this top, and therefore that's fine. And the internet as a whole agrees that there are certain looks that you can go for. So you could look formal, or you could look chic, or you could look whatever. And so as a very generic thing, then this works very well. As a more specific thing, not so well. But we can tweak that later on by using system prompts, and we can tell it, actually there's this one look that we want it to bring out. And we can describe that look to it, and it can incorporate that into what it's doing. We can tweak it so right now the app is just a really, really generic system message about fashion. So it doesn't care if you're a man or a woman or a boy or a man or whatever. It will just answer with generic responses. But we can tweak that, so if we wanted a women-specific fashion app aimed at teenagers, then we can tell it those are the fashions that we want. We can also, as seasons go on, tell it what is in fashion this season so that it can give much more precise advice about what's going on in the market right now. So this app was designed just as a demo. It's all open source. You can see it in the repository. And it's freely available for Microsoft partners to use, for Microsoft's customers to use, for anyone else. If you want to translate this onto other platforms, then that's all good. It also is a bit of a learning opportunity. So internally we did a hackathon on this so that a few people, including myself in the team, could learn some other technologies that we'd not used before. So it wasn't aimed at a specific thing, it was just a learning opportunity of how do we actually take this model and pull it all the way through into an app. How do we deal with APIs? How do we deal with logging people on and collecting data about them? But also it came out of a sort of thinking session about what do clothing retailers need to do to make the interface a bit more fun for their customers. So a lot of the time these large language models are used just as a front for a search engine. So all it's doing is taking the text that somebody says that oh hi, I'm looking for a top in green, and it will extract the word top, the word green, and extract, or it will just know that you're a teenage female. And it will throw that into the search engine, get a response back, and then it will explain to you the results from the search engine. That is good. It is a step forward from what we had before, but it doesn't change the user experience much. I can type those things in, I can select them from the menus, I can use filtering. We have created it so that you can, you can put subjective categories onto the items of clothing. So as we ingest the clothing, it runs it through the large language model, the vision version of this, and I've asked it to score, as you'll have seen in a previous video, based on, is it suitable for a wedding, is it suitable for a job interview or a date or whatever, out of 10. That then allows us in the catalogue to sort by those things or search by those things. And you'll see that in the app. That's one of the demos that we've got in there, that you can actually sort the catalogue by appropriateness for a job interview. We've also done exactly the same with attributes, so chic or sexy or formal or whatever. And we've got scores out of 10. It also, when it does those scores out of 10, we're getting a little blurb about why it is appropriate. The other thing that we've done is a Tinder style swipe interface. So one of the big issues in web analytics, machine learning generally, is the cold start problem. If you come to the website, we know nothing about you. So short of tracking you around the internet with cookies and all of that kind of creepy stuff that doesn't really work that well, if we're honest with each other, if you buy a lawnmower, then the very next thing that Amazon offers you is a lawnmower, and that makes no sense. So instead of that, what we've done is this Tinder interface. Hi, here's the catalogue, swipe through, tell us what you love, tell us what you don't love, and then we'll get a feel for what you like and dislike, or what your mood is in today. So we could have a quick session at the beginning of each time you log on to see what you're feeling. But that really lets the user tell us what they like, and we can show them many more things. So quite often the way that the machine learning works is we're centering in on what we think you like. So we show you more of the things that you like, in the effort to sell you stuff. So over time you've been looking at jeans, so all we're ever showing you now is jeans, and then you're going to buy some jeans because that's all you ever see, and we consider that to be a success. But actually, what if you had come along and if we'd have shown you a skirt, maybe you'd have thought, oh hang on, summer's coming, maybe that's what I want. So instead of diving deeper and deeper and deeper into a rabbit hole of pushing you down a certain path, we can show you everything. We can show you a bit of fun outfits, a bit of formal outfits, and if you're saying, oh, that fun thing I love, and then we show you some formal things and it's, oh, I really don't like wearing a suit, or I don't like any formal stuff, I don't like anything that looks too crazy. So one of the things is how kind of out there the outfit looks, so we can judge whether people want to look a bit kooky and a little bit fun, and have some fun with their look, and then we can know that person enjoys that stuff because they've actually told us, and we've got some good data to start that conversation on. But equally, when you're looking through the catalogue in this app, when you click on an item, instead of saying people that looked at this skirt also looked at this other skirt, or people that looked at this skirt bought this other skirt, we're going to say this skirt would go really nicely with these other tops, and what look would you be going for? If you want a chic look, this is the top you want, and if you want a fun look, this is the other top that you want, which I think is a much more effective way of looking at how people want to shop. So hopefully you'll enjoy having a go at the app. The full source code is available in the repository, and upcoming videos will be showing you how to do the login, how to do the machine learning part of it, how to do the API layer, where we've used logic apps. We could equally have used function apps, and how to build the HTML and JavaScript interface. For this one, I've used entirely HTML, JavaScript, CSS. It's not the most pretty website, it's not the most pretty code if you go in and look at the code, but it is functional. It does get the point across of what we were trying to achieve. and so hopefully you'll enjoy having a go at that. So the first thing I'll show you here is the login process. We're using Azure B2C here. When you hit something that needs authentication, it just takes you to the standard login page that you're used to on many apps these days. In the demo, I've used Microsoft Live ID. Obviously, I've got one. I work there. But you can equally use Facebook IDs, Google IDs, a bunch of the various China-based social IDs. And you can use custom ones. The setup for this is pretty easy. There's some bits of the documentation that aren't fully clear, which we're going to work on and try and contact the product group to get those sorted. But this really is the easiest way to get someone logging on so that we can uniquely identify them within the app. We can collect those swipes from the interface and we can then do machine learning based on that a bit later. So talking of swipes, I will then show you this next video. Here you can go in and we'll just show you a random thing from the catalog. As you can see here, sometimes it chooses the same outfit twice. It's completely random from the catalog, and the catalog is only like 20 pictures right now. And these are just images that I got off of a clothing store online. But this allows you to swipe left and swipe right, just like on Tinder. And you can see then that the attributes are scored. So we've got a tile on the app for user scores, just so that you can see what's happening behind the scenes. Obviously, we wouldn't feel the need to show that to customers. We can show that to customers. One of the ideas I had was, as you're swiping, the graph might be changing to show you enjoy fun things more than formal things, or vice versa. Haven't implemented that yet. I'm still working on the algorithm. Right now, the user scores are just the mean value of all of the like swipes and the mean value of all of the dislike swipes. It's not that clever right now. I'm pretty sure I can improve on that algorithm so that it builds up based on a kind of weighting of what you're doing. I also don't like that we've got the likes and the dislikes. I would quite like to merge that into one score. But there's a bit of maths to be done there, or a bit of machine learning, and I've been quite busy writing all of this stuff up to help you guys to get on board and start using it. So the next thing I'll show you is the catalog. Here in the catalog you can now sort by attributes, so you can see all of the fun, formal, flirty, professional, retro, whimsical type stuff in there. And if you sort by professional, you'll then see that these are professional looking outfits at the top, and if we scroll down they get a bit less professional. And then we can also sort by whatever the occasion is that you're dressing for. And I actually used machine learning to come up with this list. I just asked GPT, give me a list of places I might wear clothing. So here we're sorting by job interview, very similar to the professional look. But you can see each of these is actually telling you why it might be formal for a job interview, why it might not be appropriate for a job interview, and that kind of a thing, which I think is much more helpful than the quite generic information on a lot of clothing websites. So from that interface, you can then click on chat about this garment. That will then take you into the chat interface. Behind the scenes, all this is doing is creating an array of responses. Each time we are submitting the image alongside of the chat history, so that the GPT-4 model is able to keep a track of what we're talking about, which is the picture. In this instance, it's the URL of the picture. And we can also see the full history of the chat, so it knows the context of why you're asking a question. Here we're saying, could we dress this up for a night out? And it comes back with some more ideas in more detail about what you could wear with it. And this is obviously drawing the user into a conversation rather than just trying to find them something in a catalogue and throwing them back out into a shopping experience. Right now we don't have the throwing them into the shopping experience, so if they wanted to buy the outfit that's the outcome of this, we will need to find a way of doing that. But that's not incrementally much harder to do than what we've already done there. So the final thing that I'll show you today is here we have the same chat interface. We can use the camera on the phone, take a picture of this top, It then gives us obviously the standard iPhone. You can edit the picture before you upload it. This is actually, so nothing is being kept by the app in this instance. So we're actually encoding this with base64 encoding and sending that in place of a URL. And then just treating it like text. And this is doing exactly the same as before, except now you can say, I already own this top, tell me some stuff that I could put with it. And when people have been testing it, they've been saying, oh, I'd never thought of kind of dressing it up in that way. I'd never thought of using it in that way. Never really thought of going for that look with this top. That's really interesting. I'm quite excited by trying these new things. So rather than putting the onus on the user of, you should know what you're buying, it's you that's buying it for, you know what you like and dislike. Instead of that, we're saying, let's have a chat. Let's have a think about what we would like to look. Maybe try out some different things, be a bit more adventurous, and really allowing somebody that doesn't know much about fashion to explore a bit more. I think a lot of people get stuck in a rut with fashion because they don't really understand the subject. They're afraid of making mistakes. They maybe lack the imagination to try something different because, you know, you have to get dressed every day, so you just get into these patterns. You know, obviously I am a fashion god. I wear these amazing t-shirts for you guys. But you know, these ideas that come through can be quite exciting and fun to kind of chat about. One thing I will warn you, I know that the audience of this channel is predominantly male. It doesn't work very well for the guys. We've tried it, and it basically says you should wear loafers, you should wear a nice watch, and you should wear a belt. We're trying to kind of tweak it and see if we can make it work better for the guys. But realistically, there are fewer options, there are fewer looks to go for. So we're having some challenges there in terms of just getting it to say anything more exciting than wear some neat trousers. But for the girls, lots of different options, lots of different looks. So it is quite a fun thing to play with. And probably 50% of the people on the hack were females, so this has had a lot of input from people that know a lot more about clothing and fashion than me. So hopefully you enjoyed playing with it, and look for the upcoming episodes where I talk you through how to actually build this thing. We're not going to go step by step for building the whole thing. We're going to go into, this is how you go about doing this technology, and then you'll be on your own to kind of fill in some gaps. It's too big to kind of give you everything, but the full source code is there should you wish to use it. So with that, thanks very much, and I'll catch you next time.